Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's paint the fish model here. This is a rohu fish, it's a freshwater fish. So I'm taking the reference of that fish for painting the textures. So the first thing first is I would like to bake the textures of this model. So I go to the texture settings and then bake mesh maps. And then I'll be just baking it. So let me have a look on the baked maps. This is normal. This is world space normal, the ID, ambient occlusion, curvature, position, and thickness. So the first thing is I would like to do some basic paint, giving the colors throughout the model, or maybe I can start with some slight roughness. So somewhere I need to start a base layer, so I'm going to delete the layer here and then create a new fill. Okay, and you may get a lot of layers created, so I'm going to take this fill layer here. Okay, and I'm going to right click and then duplicate it and then just slightly make it more saturated, and then I'm going to use a black mask and then apply a fill, and in the fill I'm going to use the procedurals, preferably the black and white spots, and this gives me this nice texture. So I can use this as the base layer for the model. I can also select this layer and then slightly create that bump, and then this black and white spots I'm going to repeat it to 2, so that I get that high frequency detail. So that should be the first layer. Okay, so let me select these both of them and then group them. Maybe I can. Okay, that's a base layer to start with. Okay, so we would also add some texture, which is going to be the black color. So let me create a new fill and then just take some black color, and then I'm going to duplicate this layer and then take a bit more darker version of it. And if I go to the height, I would like to put this to normal, and then I would like to add a black mask and then a fill and then add a texture there. So let me explore different types of textures, which is going to give me this nice colors. So I would like to take more greenish colors. Okay, like that, and then I would like to add a slight bump on top of it. Okay, so that is going to be added on different parts of the model. Okay, so you can also do one thing. You can just play with the roughness and then just make it look more organic. Okay, now I'm going to select both of them and then just group it. Okay, so that turns to be so I'm naming this as black layer, and I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to use a paint layer. Okay, for this, and I'm going to choose a brush here. It should be very simple brush, a soft one, and I'm going to use the symmetry here, and I'm using the pen tablet, and then I'm going to work on certain things. So I'm not going to use the pen pressure for the size, and I'm going to use this for the stroke opacity. So that can generally give me. And also this layer should be normal. So I'm just painting that color over top of that. Okay, and I'm going to paint it over these gills and then just slightly fade off, and then just I'll also do some painting around the eye. So I'm just painting it over like that. just gradually give that strokes. The model is quite thin here. That's the reason why this X symmetry is showing slight error there. Okay, and I'll switch to 2D and 3D mode. I'm going to erase this at this point. I'll choose the stroke type here to UV so that it doesn't affect. I'll choose the UV for this. So that just gives up this rough details, and I may add more details as I proceed further. So I will take a new layer here. Okay, and I'll switch this to normal mode, and then I'm going to import some textures. Okay, so I'm importing a texture here. Okay, and it should be in the current session, or maybe I can save it in this particular project. Then I should be able to see this scales 0 1. So I'm going to do one thing, that is I'm not going to use any one of these attributes except the height, and then slightly add the height there and add a mask to that layer, and in that I'm going to add a fill, and in fill I'm going to put this grayscale, and then you should be able to see that scale. And let me put this to height, and then go to the rotation and then choose 90 degrees, and then repeat this to 5 or maybe 10. Okay, so once that is achieved, and you should be able to see that nice scales in the model. Okay, and I'll go to the base color and then switch on the color there, and in the color I'm going to add some nice reddish tint there. Okay, so you should be able to see that edges got that nice highlight. So let me see what color does that actually give. So I need to keep exploring that, or maybe I can use this layer multiple times and mask it for the colors. So I'm going to select that layer, and I'm not going to use the color and just leave it like that. First let's mask this scale details. Okay, so let me go to the height, and then we got the fill here. Okay, I can use levels and then start tweaking this texture. Okay, that brings up that nice highlights. Okay, once that is done, as you could see, let me select the height map, and then you should be able to see this one. So I'm going to add a new layer on top of it, which should be a paint layer, and I'm going to take the brush and then make sure that I'm going to paint a black color there, and I'm going to paint it over this. I don't want this scales to happen in the fins. And also I don't want this to happen on the face. So let me choose the material and then remove that. Okay, I'll just select the 2D and 3D mode and then remove that on the fins. Okay, I've got the mask here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'll go to the base color. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this layer and I'm going to select that layer and then use the color rather the file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this layer and just pick a color there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this and then just invert it. Okay, that gives these nice highlights. Okay, and let me put this layer below this one so that I get that nice highlights. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this again, press Ctrl D for duplicate and then just give that nice red color and then open the levels and then start. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to add a fill layer on top of it. Okay, and I go to the procedurals and then just put that procedural on top of that and then it should generally mask out these details. The base color, sorry. Okay, that details are masked out. So I'm going to choose a more dark red color on this, so maybe slightly orangish, and then I can select the layer and then use opacity there. I'm going to use contrast. So I'll just go to this layer and then here I'll go to add a layer and this should be a nice red color. Okay, I'll take a nice bright color and then I'm reducing the bump value and here I'm going to add a layer mask and let me take a marble texture. Okay, so that texture basically gives me this nice folds. You should be able to see that. Okay, so let me repeat this texture and that adds a bit of veins and cracks here and there, and then you can start exploring the and this texture looks this color looks too strong. I just try to keep it low, so I go to the height and then select the opacity and then just keep it very subtle. Okay, and if you see I've got a marble texture here and I just see one more layer which is going to be added here, so I'll go to the mask and add one more layer there and they should basically multiply with this previous layer. So I'll just choose height. So this marble is not showing up. I'll add screen blending mode and that should add. And then I'm going to repeat this texture and that adds more details. I can add one more layer, one more fill, and the blending mode is screen and then take one more marble and then repeat it 6 times. So that adds a lot of layers on top of it, and I'm going to select this and then just fix there's an issue there, like that, and then come here. Okay, and then add a paint layer. Okay, I'll be taking a new paint layer, and I'm going to take the height of maybe slightly lower, and then just give that yellow color. Okay, so I'm going to select and just gives that nice colors there. And then in brushes, if you go to the brushes section, you have a lot of dirt textures. Just I'll be giving that variation there, and I can start picking different colors there and give that character overall. And I've given that slight bump cavity bump, so that gives that texture to whatever I've painted, like that. Okay, I'll be taking the soft brush again, and I'm going to take a red color, and the bump is too much. So we got all these layers painted, so I would like to add one more detail here. So we have this scales layer, So I'm going to duplicate that layer and put it on top. And I'm going to select that layer and then choose the color there. Okay, and then we have the levels. Let me invert it, and here I've just wanted some sort of color. Firstly, I just change the color here. To something like that. And this layer is only a color layer. So let me just add a slight detail. Just like that. I'll choose the mask option. And then have a look what's happening here. And then just remove it. Instead of I'm just slightly reducing that. That's better. Okay, so I could see some character there overall. So let's see how this is going to look in the 3D renders.